If you have ever decided to study abroad or you're currently in the process of making that decision, this question must have popped up in your mind as well. And that is, what country to choose. The US and the UK have been traditional choices for studying abroad for students from across the world. And that's not a new phenomenon, that has been there for decades. And even if you got acceptance from two universities in the UK and the US, you will still be asking yourself one question again and again. And that is, which country will truly change my life for the better? Because let's just face it, studying abroad is no longer just about education. It's about lifestyle, it's about exposure, and it's also about global opportunities. And in this video, I'm going to talk about it very honestly, because it's not just about picking a country for studying abroad. It's basically giving a direction to your career. And if you're new to the channel, my name is Sheetal. I'm the founder of DuesPaid, where we simplify your study abroad journey. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please go and do so now, because we upload a lot of videos which can help you in one way or the other. Now let's get back to today's video. So basically, the US and the UK have been traditional choices for students across the world, not just Indians, and rightly so. Let's bring out the data. So the United States attracted more than 1 million international students in just 1 year, and that was 2024. And you will be surprised to know that more than 30% of those international students were Indians. Basically, out of more than 1 million students, around 3.5 lakh students were Indian. That's a huge number coming from one country. The UK is also not far behind. A little over 7 lakh students from across the world chose the UK as their study abroad destination. Out of those more than 7 lakh students, a little over 1 lakh students belong to India, and they chose the UK as their new home. While the number of international students in the US has been increasing year on year, there has been a slight dip in students that are choosing the UK for their studying abroad. And the main reason for that is stricter visa policies. But in this video, I'll also tell you about some positive aspects of the UK, some negative aspects of the US, and then later on we'll balance out what sits best as per your goals and priorities. So first of all, let's just get very real about the time commitments. In the UK, everything moves faster as compared to the US. If you want to pursue a bachelor's degree in the UK, you will only have to spend 3 years. If you want to pursue a master's degree, you'll have to spend 1 year. And if you want to go for a PhD program, you can complete it within 3 years. Whereas in the US, things take longer, things take more time. If you want to pursue a bachelor's degree, you'll have to spend at least 4 years. If you want to pursue a master's program, you'll have to spend 2 years. And if you want to pursue a PhD program, be prepared to spend somewhere around 4 to 6 years of your prime years just to get that PhD degree. In the UK, you dive right into the things and there is no dilly-dallying. In the US, you have more flexibility, you get to figure out stuff at your own pace, and then you can take your sweet time in completing things. So this is all about time commitments on paper. Now let's talk about the next biggest thing, and that is the finances. If you are going to pursue a master's degree in the US, you'll have to shell out somewhere between $30,000 to $60,000 a year, which is roughly close to 55 to 70 lakh rupees. If you want to pursue a PhD program, you will be given a stipend, but then you will have to account for living expenses. Just for some context, if you're living in New York City like me, you will have to spend at least $4,000 a month, including your rent, just to survive in this brutal city. Let's talk about the UK now. If you are planning to pursue a master's program in the UK, you can actually do so under £30,000 a year. Living expenses are also different, but the biggest advantage of pursuing a degree in the UK is the number of years you are going to spend. Because the degrees in the UK are shorter, you will eventually be spending less money overall when it comes to studying abroad. And that will actually come out to be a huge reduction in the expenses that you will have to incur. But not everybody has the money to finance their education abroad, and a lot of people rely on scholarships. So now let's talk about financial aid. So the US is actually loaded with scholarships. There are so many scholarships available in the US, merit-based, need-based, and then there are so many private and public funded scholarships. Every university in the US has their own scholarship program along with nationwide scholarship programs that anybody can apply for. For example, when I was applying to Columbia University, I got a scholarship from Columbia Journalism School. And there are also big names like Fulbright programs that allow you to study at a US university without spending a penny. They even cover your to and fro flights, your expenses while living here, your tuition fee, and they also pay you a stipend. But the condition is that you have to go back to your country for at least 2 years to pursue something in the field of your education and contribute to your nation. A lot of people don't choose this option because they want to enter the US workforce, but that's for another day. Most coveted universities like Harvard, Stanford, MIT, Yale, Columbia have their own scholarship programs designated to a particular field of study. And then you also have financial aid that you can apply for, and practically your cost of attendance can be reduced to single digits if you plan your education wisely. It's true that there are more scholarships available for people in the STEM fields, AI and robotic fields, and even research in the US as compared to any other fields of study. The UK, on the other hand, is a little disappointing when it comes to scholarships. Although there are still scholarships available for international candidates, but the numbers are far lesser than the US. Although you can still apply for university-specific scholarships that are available for all the applicants. For example, we have the Rhodes Scholarship at Oxford, the Gates Cambridge Scholarship, and institution-specific awards such as the University of Edinburgh Global Scholarship or Imperial College of London scholarships. One of the most important scholarship programs coming out of the UK is the Chevening Scholarship Program. There are different criteria and different categories of Chevening scholarships. You can go on their website and check out which scholarship suits you the best. Now let's talk about jobs. We all know that job markets are a little problematic across the world, but the US is still a big fighter in that terms. Any graduate can earn somewhere around $60,000 to $90,000 as their starting salary in the US. For STEM-related courses, it's even higher. I have seen people being hired as data engineers for more than $125,000 a year. So when it comes to paying good salaries, the US stands far ahead of other countries. The UK isn't bad either. It's not that far behind. Graduates can earn up to £35,000 to £50,000 as their starting salary, but there are some other perks that you need to take into account when you're choosing your studying abroad destination. Let's get to it. What happens when you graduate? You'll obviously want some work visa to work in the country where you studied, and the UK is much better in terms of work visas when it comes to comparison. If you graduate from a university in the UK, with a master's degree, you get 2 years of work visa. If you pursued a PhD program, you get 3 years of work visa. Whereas in the US, if you pursued a non-STEM master's program, you will get 1 year of post-study work visa, which is called optional practical training. And if you graduated with a STEM degree, you will get 3 years of OPT, which is optional practical training. But here comes the little catch. In the UK, if you have stayed for more than 6 years, you can move to the route of permanent residency, and then you will no longer require a work visa. Whereas in the US, getting a permanent residency is next to impossible. Professionals who are just doing their jobs and are not at the top of their careers or fields have to wait a little longer before they can become permanent residents of the US. And by a little longer, in some cases, it could even be decades, even 80 years of wait before you can get a green card. It's true that the US market is unmatched, but green cards can really take a long time and will provide you with little to no security when you're planning your future. In that regard, the UK is better because it gives you more clarity on your future plans and a little more security than the US provides you with. I am sure this question has started to pop up in your mind. If the UK is cheaper when it comes to studying abroad and offers faster residency, then why are still students choosing the US? The answer is very simple. It's basically two things. It's a bigger job market and higher salaries. So if you want to climb up the salary ladder quickly and reach the top of your field, the US is your option. But UK is best for people who want speed, who want long-term stability. So now you have it. If you want flexibility, you want energy, and you want high earning potential, you have to choose the US. If you want to save time, money, and are looking for settling abroad, then UK is your destination. At the end of the day, it's not just about choosing a study abroad destination. It's about choosing your future, deciding your goals, and then acting upon them. So sit with yourself, ask yourself difficult questions, and finalize the stage that sits well with you. And if you ever get stuck and need help, that is exactly why I'm building DuesPaid. Drop us a line in the comments and I'll make sure that you get the help you deserve. We'll meet you in another video where we will simplify another crucial aspect of studying abroad. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy, and keep paying your dues for a better tomorrow.